so we're going to be doing this headlight today with the Cerakote kit, and I'm going to show you how easy it is and the steps. So you can do both headlights in about 30 minutes, unless you got to spend extra time sanding, which you'll see that process here in a minute. So first thing is to make sure you wash your headlight. You can just wash it with regular soap and water. It's not a big deal. And then you're going to want to make sure it's pretty dry. So I always, for my process, have a microfiber cloth and I get it dried off. So as part of this, you're going to be wiping a product on here first to clean some of this haze that you don't really want on your paint. So you can get a roll of this, which this is probably going to be impossible to do with gloves on. Oh, no, I got it. And protect some of these areas where you may end up getting some product. And you don't have to get newspaper or anything like that as part of that process. And you really just don't want to get, especially this first step one, it actually says on there, you get it on your paint to get it off pretty quickly. So we'll do that section, and then this looks like a pretty big section that should be taken care of. And I'm a super awesome body guy here, so that out of the way, protect that, and we'll protect this piece here. And if you're careful and you don't have tape, you'll be okay. I'll tell you what, I am not having much success here today with my taping. So it's been in the 90s plus I should say, here in Georgia, and today it's 80. I think right now it's still like in the 70s, which is crazy for August. All right, and we'll protect some of that. If you hear some squeaking, my water hose started leaking, which is ridiculous. But you will need water hose, and we'll talk about that in just a second. I completely missed that spot. Let's grab that, and then we'll get started. Get that off the headlight. All right, it should be good. We got some protection there. Okay, so in the kit, the Cerakote kit, you're going to get different containers here. So this is step one, and you'll see what happens when we wipe that. Then there's going to be a sanding process, and then we'll finish it with this step 3. We'll start with this. You won't see much change, but we'll go through that, and I won't make you watch all of this without time-lapsing some of this, but we'll work on this together. And I say work on it together. You guys like coming over to help do these headlights? Kit does come with gloves. And you can see why you tape. So this product here starts to turn this color when you're pulling the oxidation off. Yikes. And already, just pulling some of that off, you can see a little bit of clarity coming through. So it says you use 4 of these per headlight. I usually use 2. Like if it was a really bad UV damaged headlight, I would absolutely do that. And I think it recommends doing some circular motion on this, and you don't do that with the sanding. You'll see that in a second. Let's open another one of those. So you can see why you tape it, because you're not supposed to get this product on your paint. If you do get it on your paint because you don't have tape, See, like I have some on my gloves, so I keep the microfiber right here to take care of that. All right, so let's open that up, do a little bit more. Somebody from Cerakote, if they ever saw this video, they'd be like, nope, that's not the way. All right, so we'll get that off the paint right there. Now the next step is to actually wash that off, that product. So we'll get the hose, do that really quick. Let's get the tape out of the way so it gets sopping wet. Put it on shower mode. So when I have the hood open, because it makes it a lot easier if you leave the hood open, so you don't have to tape around the hood and let you get up to the top of the headlight. A lot easier. So since my gloves are plastic, I'm washing them off camera, but what we're going to shift to now is doing some wet sanding, which is, quite honestly, kind of fun. So the kit comes with 2 sanding discs. You use the purple one first. It's 2000 grit. And you're wet sanding, so you want to keep that wet. You do it for 2 to 3 minutes, and then we'll shift to a 3000 grit. So I use a hose. If you had a spray bottle, water works too. And I just get it a little wet. And you do not use circular motions. You do back and forth for 2 to 3 minutes. And if it looks like you're starting to dry out at all, you can put a little more water on there. I usually do it for about a minute. It's funny when you start recording videos, you're like, I wonder what funny facial expression I'm making right now. Because I usually work with my mouth open. Just because I'm thinking so hard. But, alright, so we'll put a little water on that. We'll do this for another 30 seconds or so. Hello. Hold on to your tools if you're using them. And if you ever drop something like that, make sure you don't have any debris off your driveway or anything on there. You don't want to make any deep scratches happen. Okay, that's actually looking pretty good, feeling pretty good. Okay, so if I was to wipe that off a little bit, you'll see it's actually gotten a little bit more hazy throughout that process. So we're going to shift over to the 3000, do the same thing for a couple minutes. Put a little moisture on there. And go for 2 to 3 minutes. Somebody's watching the video, they're saying, man, bro, that's not 2 to 3 minutes, that's like 30 seconds. What are you doing? I always adjust based on the amount of sanding that needs to happen. I don't like to over sand, and this just had some fairly minor, I think I just got bit by a mosquito too. Super fun. Welcome to Georgia. Actually looking really good. This headlight has a little ledge here where the blinker is, or side marker. So we'll grab that. All right, we'll do a final rinse. Is that 2 to 3 minutes? No. So I'm saying with this kit, like I'm sure that they have those recommendations for a reason. I don't always follow the rules. That could be a problem sometimes. And then just dry it off. And I oftentimes will use a couple of rags. In fact, I'm going to go get another one to get this completely dry. Because what the next step is actually putting the clear back on it. And you do not want any moisture. So when I do the clear, I don't want any moisture from this tape coming through. So I pull the tape, I get it out of the way, and I try to get any moisture out of any crevice that I see. Be right back. I'm gonna go get another towel. That up. So I dry it and I let it sit. Sometimes I get the blower because I'm impatient. I'll just blow it, but that's pretty dry right now. So we'll get step 3 here. And I'm actually going to change my gloves because they have some of that other product on it potentially. So I'll be right back. Oh yeah, that's super fun putting gloves on. Super fun. Always love trying to put gloves on. It's funny. They never fit when you need them to go on fast. Okay. So the next step, which I've successfully gotten this bag wet, isn't great, is you're going to be wiping the headlight. You're going to start here, and you're going to do straight down. How do you like that? Putting some water, moisture from my fingertips off those gloves. All right. You know, this was supposed to be a short video for y'all. We're almost there, promise. Okay, dry this off again. All right, so step 3, once again, is you're wiping horizontally from top to bottom. And you only use one of these, and you overlap 50%. Kind of like you're cutting grass a little bit. That's the best way I can describe it. And I do the side marker separately. I mean, I'm getting the edge, but I will get it in a different pass. And you can already see how clear the headlight's getting, putting this clear coat on it. And if you kind of run a little bit dry on a spot, you can get back over it, but don't put too much product because it will absolutely streak a little bit, like, because it's already starting to dry. It will lay flat. You see I got a little dry spot here, which kind of aggravates me because it's going so fast, but nonetheless, I'll grab this guy. Right there. You know, even though it's not very hot, the humidity around here is terrible. Okay, we got everything all the way around. I don't see any more sanding spots. You can see how clear that is. So I don't know how much time we're at right now in the recording. I went pretty fast. You can obviously go much slower and take your time. I have done so many of these, I kind of know the order of events and what works and what doesn't work. So we're done. And if we were doing both headlights, obviously we'd do the other side. Oh, one thing about that. So if you're doing both headlights, you will do step 1, which is that first wipe, on both headlights at the same time on the first set of gloves. Then save yourself the second set of gloves for this step. And see what I'm saying? So humid. Of course, I'm, you know, big guy. Sweating right in my eye. Love it. All right. Thanks.